the CEO and founder of Glasshouse PR. What I do every day, I think it has changed over time, but right now I'm in charge of business development. So I'm in charge of vision casting, especially to the team, and also going out there and getting more business for the company. I started with a laptop and 6,000 Kenya shillings. This was like my savings that I had. And I remember when I started, I went back home in Limuru, and that's where I started the company with that capital. And I believe that capital is not necessarily the money that you have, but it can be a skill that you possess, someone that you know. So with the 6,000 Kenya shillings, I was using it to buy a bandwidth. And because I was skilled in IT, I created my own website. Actually, nowadays it's easy. You can just Google how to create your own website. So I created my own website, went online, and created the social media platforms. And of course, because I had been employed before, and I used to meet people, small medium enterprises, so I went to them and I sold to them what I do. So the network that I had, the skill that I had, was what I used as my capital to start out the business. I'm like something like a glass. Then we wrote so many names. Then we wrote Glasshouse PR, and I knew this is it. Like, yes, this is it. So I ran. Did I have the 800 bob? I don't remember where I got the 800 bob to go and do name search and register a business name. So somehow I was able to get that, which I didn't have. I remember, because actually I forgot. You see the 6,000 Kenya shillings. When I bought the modem for a certain network, who I'll not mention here, it did work in my village. Can you imagine? So I had to actually borrow money, 5,000 Kenya shillings, to buy an alternative modem that would work then, because Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi was not available the way it is today. And if it was available, I don't think I had money to go and sit in a Java anyway. So so I went back home with having registered Glasshouse PR, and now I created another website, created my my own email address, and created a Twitter handle, Facebook account, LinkedIn, and I started marketing this company. So, of course, I would approach the people I knew from BNI. Remember, I was a marketer in the first software company, and because of that, I had been sent to do some marketing for the company in BNI. So I'd met many SMEs. So I started marketing my business to these SMEs. So yeah, someone gave me a job where they'd pay me 5,000 Kenya shillings per month, and I had to come to the office every Friday. I have to buy data with that and do their social media marketing. I don't know how that was working, but it worked. I did some work for them for 3 months. Then another one gave me some job, and I would do. They were in Woodley actually, and I would do some work for them. They were paying me, I think, 10,000 Kenya shillings per month. That was a lot of money, I think. Then I had to do a lot of pro bono work the first year, because I had to prove to them that I have the skill. And I'm glad I did pro bono work, because those people wrote recommendation letters for me when I was going to see the next client. And I had case studies to show clients that this is potential clients that this is what I've done before. Then I remember immediately after elections, we got a call, me, myself, and I, because I was we got a call. I remember answering the call, and they're like, "Hi, we're calling from Google. Can you talk to Mary Njoki?" I'm like, "Okay, hold on for Mary Njoki." And they held on for Mary Njoki. Myself, me, I showed up. Okay, anyway, so so I took the phone and I spoke to them, and they're like, "We were looking for PR companies in Kenya, and when we Googled, you were among the first four." I'm like, "Oh, have been optimized because of the digital communication, whatever activities. So I'm like, yes. Then they're like, we'd like you to come and do our, to pitch for PR. I'm like, yes. So I went to Daystar University, picked young guys, because now I was already there and I was connecting with them. Picked young guys, we brainstormed, we went, presented, we were shortlisted. They even called me and they're like, tomorrow we are starting the process with the lawyers, and we'll be paying you whatever amount of money in dollars. I told my guys, you have to open dollar accounts. This is the year of the breakthrough. Anyway, so what happened? So they then that day when we were supposed to start the process with the lawyer, it delayed. We waited for a week, waited for 2 weeks. Then one day they just called me. They're like, "Oh, Mary, we've decided to work with another PR company." I was heartbroken because I'd used a whole month. I'd focused on them for a whole month. I'd gotten these guys, like sometimes they would just come, I don't remember where we used to meet. And, they would spend a lot of time Googling about Google, researching about Google, coming up with awesome ideas, all these things. And it was very sad as for an entrepreneur, for me. And I remember I was like, I'm done with entrepreneurship. I can walk to any company and they're going to employ me. And anyway, I slept for 3 days. Then the 4th day I woke up, I'm like, yes, Glasshouse PR. And those are some of the lessons I've learned about being, persistent. The Google thing was good, was not, it had two sides to it. The fact that we interacted with them, again, my mind was changed to know how to approach and to pitch to international companies. So, because I remember, like, our first pitch, we talked too much about marketing rather than PR. So now when so I understood that in international companies, their marketing department and their PR department are totally different. So in 2014, Facebook wrote to us again. They Googled, we are among the first people, and they wrote to us through Info, and they wanted a proposal. And the proposal I did was based on what I'd learned from Google. So about how they look at PR, as international companies. So we wrote a proposal, they approved it, and I got the job. We got the job. Now we many human beings had come. Yeah, so we got the job, and that was awesome. After that, we got a job with Viber, which was awesome. Of course, we were working with SMEs in Kenya, but getting international jobs like those ones was really amazing. A lady came and wrote my story on Career Point, and apparently it went viral. For me, I didn't think that the fact that I started with the resources I had was a big thing. So when I shared the story, it became inspirational and huge, and it went viral. K24 approached me. They did my story on Destiny Changers. Yes, Destiny Changers. And because of that, the company was gaining more traction, and therefore more visibility. So that was a process of the growth of the company. Of course, we again worked with SMEs. We worked with other. We found ourselves working mostly with SMEs, small medium enterprises, and helping them position themselves, especially in digital space. We worked a lot with now musicians. Because of that time, I was able to get a footing in the entertainment world. We worked a lot with corporates, and those corporates were IT companies, which was awesome for us. 2015, I met this young man who he was on Forbes. So he came. I don't remember how we met, but I remember us having a meeting in this room. So we had a meeting, and he was on Forbes, and he was like, I want to build my brand. And I'm like, yeah, you're on Forbes, so you're just on Forbes. I'll make sure. He was on Forbes and Young and Rich. So I'm like, I'll make sure you go to all these other platforms. So I started working with him, and we'd do monthly events. I came up with a concept of his monthly events, and we'd do monthly events, and young people, 200 young people would come, and I remember would share profits. It was a really good thing until I realized, and I took him everywhere. I took him to Jeff Konange show, took him, he was all over the media, the time I was working with him. And I remember one day sitting in one of the events, and I discovered, oh my God, this story he's telling is not consistent. So what am I supposed to do? And I went ahead to call him and ask him, what is this story that you're telling people? Why is it not consistent? How come yesterday you said you've invested in this particular number of companies, and today you said you've invested in this particular companies, tomorrow you change? How come the number keeps changing? How come the story you told yesterday is different? And I'm your PR agency, so I want to know the truth so that I know how I'm going to represent you. But the problem is the young man went ahead and lied to me. And it was very insulting because he had lied to me so many times. You see, have you ever been conned? And then when you sit down, like everything makes sense. Like, yeah, that's why he was standing at the door. That's why, like everything makes sense. So I got to that place. I'm like, he lied to me that day, this day, even this day. Oh my God, why? So when I was transparent and, and I came and asked, and he lied again, and I could tell his lying, it was very bad. So because we had, if you would say Glasshouse PR, and the name of this person would show up. So, and we had, so I was like, oh my God, this is going to be crazy. But I had to disassociate myself with this brand. So I did a press release. Actually, after having a meeting, because he's lied to me, and I told him by the way I'm doing a press release. He's like, yeah, just do it. So I did a press release, and I disassociated the company with him. And that was crazy, First, a friend of mine, who I'm not sure if I'm supposed to mention him, he's running for MP. Anyway, so a friend of mine called me, like, hey, I've seen the press release. Should I put it on social media? I'm like, you can put the story, but I didn't know he was putting the press release. So he put the press release, and it went viral. It went viral. And we started facing backlash. I remember the lady who was tweeting for us that time, she was in the US. She didn't even know what is happening. She's like, what is happening? I'm getting weird tweets. What is happening? I'm like, just relax. Don't respond to any of them. I got a lot of backlash from people who were supporting this particular brand, and they're like, maybe we had issues, and I decided to spoil his name or to disassociate myself with him. But I think since we had built the name in the public domain, we had to disassociate ourselves in the public domain, because I believe no one could have believed us if we said, we wrote an email to him. We disassociated ourselves if they found that he was not authentic later on. So that went on for a while, and it was very bad for me. Because I was like, okay, this entrepreneurship business is crazy. Because that day, I remember they put us on prime time. It was in the news. So the Mark Massa is reading our press release. And then this guy decides to release his own press release. And so I'm like, oh my God, on Twitter, it was so dramatic. But it built our name. But we still face, sometimes we do press releases and we see journalists writing back to us and telling us, why are you the guys who are dealing with this particular person? And we're like, yes, we are. And what we've decided to do, we are creating a case study in that regard, which we hope to launch this year, on crisis communication on digital space and, client relations. And we learned a lot from that, particular encounter, but it was very bad because it was a public thing. So there are people who are against us, others were backlashing the company. These Glasshouse people, they're not even, who are they? What is this company all about? Then I remember I later did a story. Someone did an interview on me. Then people are saying, oh, she's now famous because she worked with this person. And I'm like, my God, my story has been there before. Someone had done my story before. So it was very one of the lowest moment as an entrepreneur, but we came out of it, and we continued moving.